How do they do it? Why do they do it? Riding and crashing and riding and winning and always faster and faster and faster.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to With Antone, looking at the 2025 MotoGP season. And round one we've just had, it's been run and won. And Buriram, Thailand has been done. And, you know, what a burn. That's certainly what the riders were saying. And I think we really got to see exactly what Marc Marquez can really do. You know, late last season, they said if they put him on the Works Ducati, you wouldn't see which way he went. And that's pretty well what really happened in Buriram this weekend. You know, it was a hot race. And I think the crowd were really treated to something quite special. You know, you had the qualifying. I think Bagnaia and Jack Miller came through. They came through the Q1 into Q2, and then they did really well to get through. You've got Alex Márquez 1-2, and then, the rest of the results. You've got Bagnaia coming through for third, and, Jack Miller, what a fantastic effort for Jack to get through to fourth on the second row. I think it was a great qualifying, particularly by the Yamaha. The sprint race, well, that went pretty well to plan. I don't think you'd really see that. Ogura was the big surprise. Wow. You see him on the Golf branded, beautiful looking bike, the Golf. Really makes you start to think what Jorge Martin might be able to do on the Aprilia. I'm not too sure, but his result was really a tribute to what Aprilia, potential could be. And, that was great. So Saturday ended up pretty well how it was. You've got Marc Marquez and then Alex Márquez and Bagnaia. So that was the results on Saturday, which took us into Sunday. And one of the things I want to talk about in each of these weekly drops that I'm doing here on YouTube with Antone is look at a little bit behind the scenes. And today I want to talk a little bit more about KTM. But, let's just get through the race on Sunday. The race came on Sunday, very hot temperatures there in Buriram for sure. A lot of the riders complained after the race, and many of them had burnt arms and burnt legs just from the pure heat. But I think the standout for each of the manufacturers, well, Ducati, it's pretty obvious. You've got Marc. First three, they locked out the grid. It was nice to see Giantonio really mucking up Jack Miller's race by putting it through up the inside there. But top finisher was Jack Miller for Yamaha, which, running as high as, I think he may have run up as high as fifth, ended up down in 11th. Seems to be, reading today, that perhaps he had trouble with his fairing. You're doing 335. You don't want your fairing coming off, that's for sure, because that would be a little bit tricky, to say the least. He was having to hold that in with his arms. And their top Honda was Zarco in 7th place. Unfortunately, Mir chucked it down the road, and he was, I think, up to 6th at one point, so really good. Top KTM. So let's talk a little bit about KTM. Okay, Acosta, it's becoming a habit, the crashing. We saw that last season, and everyone said it's his rookie year, so, we need to cut him some slack. I think the top finisher was Binder. I think he came in 8th place. But let's look at the disaster of the weekend. The biggest disaster of the weekend is Maverick Viñales. Now, Viñales, for me, was a very strange signing by KTM. The guy's ridden for Suzuki, of course, as we know, and then he went across to Yamaha. Yamaha let him go under the reason that he was, trying to over-rev the bike and explode the motor. I remember back when, in his Moto 2 days, when he stormed off, I think it was it Phillip Island or Sepang, couldn't get his way and stormed off. But, that's one of those things. Bastianini, well, he turned it round. He has, I think, worked out that his style, which is, smooth and consistent will in fact work with the KTM. He doesn't have to chuck it sideways like Binder does. I mean, Binder's basically super motard style coming into most of those corners. But Viñales running around at the rear of the grid for most of the race. I think he finished up, trying to remember where he finished up. I think it was 16th outside the points. But what a disaster. And I don't think it's going to work. I don't think Viñales is going to work at KTM. And I would not be surprised that if midway through the season, if things continue in this path where he's running towards the back, mid to back of the pack, I can see that he'll just walk away. I think he may do that off the back of the contractual situation. I mean, much like Bastianini, I mean, these guys, do they have a get-out clause? I think for Viñales, I think it's going to get too much, and I just think he's actually going to walk away from that and see how it goes. So let's see if that prediction comes true. Look, I want to thank everybody who watched the Aprilia management episode, and we saw Aprilia. We saw what they were doing. I got to just make a comment about the Dorna race commentary. You know, Marc Marquez, clear to everybody in the race that he was having front tyre, pressure problems. So he dropped behind his brother to let the tyre cool down, for the pressure. Now, they didn't know what was going on. Is there a problem with the bike? I mean, it's not good enough. They get rid of Simon Crafer from the box. And okay, he's moved on to, part of the stewards group. But who in that commentary box has any expertise about what's going on? It's clear to anybody he was dropping back behind his brother Alex for the tyre pressure. You saw when he got in front, I think with 4 laps to go, he cleared out, And Bagnaia, well, I felt a bit sorry for him, sitting in the back of the golf buggy going for the celebrations, the brothers in front smiling, the happy Marquez family, and he's sitting there, not so much the bride, not even so much the bridesmaid, but he was more of the usher in the situation. But anyway, just a quick report from round 1 in Buriram. We'll be putting together another one for the upcoming round in Argentina. So please, if you like this, give us a like and give us a subscribe and, forward the video around. And I'd really appreciate your comments. One about the KTM situation. Do you think my predictions will come true about Maverick Viñales? And 2, what about this Dorna commentary? Don't you think we deserve a little better? Thanks for watching for today, and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.